This is the speaking mock test of the International English Language Testing System taking place online at Ross IELTS Academy. The candidate is Chiara. The candidate number is 513144558. The examiner is Samson Sees. Examiner number 443533. Good day to you. My name is Samson. Would you please tell me your full name?
Yes, my full name is Chiara Bisignani.
Wonderful. Can I see your identification, please?
Yes, sure.
In the first part of the exam, I will ask you some personal questions. Let's talk about friends. How do you usually contact your friends?
Since my friends live very close to me, I just call them or text, and they are immediately available almost every time I contact them. Yeah.
Okay. Now, the last time you saw your friends, what did you do together?
Well, the last time I saw them was last weekend. We usually see each other in the weekend because we are busy during the week for the work. And we went to a pub here in my hometown. And we had a very good day, pleasant, yes.
That's good. So what makes a friend into a good friend?
Well, it depends of the person, but speaking of myself, it's very important that your friend is a very reliable friend, and you can trust this person. This is the most important thing, in my opinion. And also, he has to be a shoulder to cry on. So if you need him or her, so you can really be sure that this person is always there for you.
Right, yeah, very good. Now let's talk about movies. How often do you go to a cinema to watch a movie?
Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, and I didn't go to movies recently, and this is very sad because I'm almost addicted to cinema. I can say. I remember the last time I went to the cinema was probably last year, unfortunately, as I said before. But I hope I will be able to go very soon again.
Right, good. Now, do you like to watch movies alone or with your friends?
To be honest, I prefer watching movie by myself. Because sometimes it's a little bit distracting to have so many people around, especially if they are your friends, because they can start talking, asking about the movie or something like that. So yes, I prefer to watch a movie by myself.
Right, good. Now, would you like to be in a movie?
Wow, that's an interesting question. Yes, definitely. I would like to be in a movie because it will be an incredible experience, and very particular. And so probably I don't know what kind of movie, but if I had the opportunity to choose a particular kind of movie, I would like to be in a fantasy movie where probably I can fly. I don't know. Yes.
Wonderful. Sounds good. All right, so that's the end of the first part. Let's move on to the next part of the test. Right, here we go. Now, in part 2, I will give you a card with a topic, and you'll have to talk about that topic for 2 minutes. You have 1 minute to think about what you're going to say, and of course, you can make notes if you wish. You understand,
yes.
I think?
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. So describe a photograph of you that you like. And okay, I'll give you 1 minute to prepare yourself with the notes. You can go ahead and do that.
Yes, thank you.
All right. You may start speaking. Go ahead.
I would like to talk about a picture of me in front of the Statue of Liberty of New York City. This is one of the most beautiful pictures of me because, first of all, New York City, it's my favorite city, and I would like to live there in the future. So that's why it's very important for me, this picture. And secondly, because I was very close to the statue, so you can really see the beauty and the powerful of the statue, and because it's really it's a huge statue, and you can see from the picture this characteristic. I remember I took this picture about 3 years ago with my sister. Actually, she took the picture, and I love it because, as I said before, New York is one of my favorite cities in the world. And the Statue of Liberty is one of the most interesting monuments of New York City. So I really love this photograph. In fact, I have it on my desk, and I also have other copies of the same photograph in other parts of my house. I think I would probably do a very big poster so I can put it on my wall.
All right. That's great. That's the end of part 2. Okay, let's move on. So, in part 2, you talked about a photograph of you that you like. Now, in this part, I want to ask you some questions related to this topic. Let's consider taking photographs. Is it easy to take good photographs, do you think?
I would say yes, especially nowadays because of the very advanced technology. We can easily find just a good phone, for example, and you can take pictures of every kind. So apart from that, you don't need to go to stamp the photograph, but you can keep just all of them inside your computer, for example, and print them whatever you want. So it's very easy nowadays to take and have good pictures.
Yeah, good. And what are the pros and cons of digital photography?
Well, to my knowledge, something that I don't really like, it's the fact that pictures in these days are not anymore like natural or as original, because we can change a particular photo every time we want. So it's a little bit unnatural, if I can say this. In the past, in the contrary, you didn't have the possibility to change your photo every time you wanted. So that's the biggest disadvantage, in my opinion.
Right, yeah, interesting. So, is it necessary to take a course to become a good photographer?
I don't think so, actually, because nowadays there are so many, for example, online free courses, but they are not actually courses. You can just see how other people take pictures. You can emulate them, and so you can easily learn how to take a good picture. So it's not essential to take a very costly course.
Right, yeah. And how has sharing photographs changed since your grandparents' time?
Oh, well, that's a very interesting question, because my grandparents didn't have all the technology that I have. So the first thing that comes to my mind is that we have a lot of opportunities to share with friends or family by phone, for example, or either on Instagram or Facebook. We are really surrounded by millions of devices, so it's very, very easy to share everything you want nowadays. And yes.
Oh, okay. Now, do you think that people nowadays spend too much time taking photographs?
Yes, I think so, because when we go on a trip, sometimes I think we forget about the place we are, and probably we don't even enjoy totally the place, but we are just pay attention to take pictures, and probably we lose something more important, like just enjoying the place and the presence of our family or our friends. So yes, it's a little bit sad, if I have to be honest, but this is the reality, unfortunately.
Okay, thanks very much. That's the end of the test. You can take a deep breath now. It's over. How do you feel?
It's good. It's very hot here, so it's complicated.
Oh, it's hot. Yeah, was it make you sort of more stressed out, do you think, the heat?
Yes, even tired and out of steam, so
Oh,
without energy. Yeah.
I thought your energy was pretty good, actually. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just
Thank you.
going. All right, so if you give me a second, I'm just going to add
Yes,
up your
sure.
band score. Okay.
Do you want to know what band score you'll get in the IELTS speaking test? Perhaps you want to improve your performance and prepare yourself for the real test? Then why not book an online mock test with us that will last for 25 minutes? 12 minutes of the test itself and 13 minutes of comprehensive feedback, plus we'll give you useful tips on how to make your performance better. Remember, all our examiners are especially trained by British Council instructors, so we know how to help you. Join us.
Okay, Kiara.
Yeah.
How do you think you did this time?
Worse than the
You thought it
last
was
time.
worse?
Yeah.
You thought it was worse? Why did you
Yes.
think it was worse?
Because I don't know about the ideas. Probably sometimes I got lost. I think. Yeah.
Well, I have good news for you. It wasn't the case. That's not what I was looking at here. I think it was an improvement. You're now an overall band score of 7.5.
Oh, that's great.
You've gone up
Thank
by
you.
by half bands. In my opinion, yeah, I mean, we're looking at something pretty good here, actually. So we're going to go into the 4 criteria and see what you did. And of course, there's always room for improvements. And that's always the case. I mean, don't worry about stuff like that. Even native speakers can improve. So let's have a look. Let's first look at fluency and coherence. You know, you did a great job here. You were very smooth. You slowed down. I mean, since it's been 24 hours, I guess, since your previous mock test. But you've taken those techniques on board. Congratulations. You were, because you slowed down, you were at a smooth, you weren't too slow, in my opinion. I think you were at a very smooth pace. And that allowed you to remember your boosters. It allowed you to use more idiomatic language. I mean, we had, you know, I think at one point you said, oh, it's a shoulder to cry on. That's very good idiomatic language to use. Very good. Well, very well done. Boosters like, oh, that's a very interesting question. I should say this and that. The connectives, first of all, you know, it's good. These are very good techniques that you're using. What I would say right now, if you want to push that and go over 1 band score, you need to work on the, let's say, the linking words, the linking sentences. So when you have these fillers of ums and ahs and some pauses here and there, that is content related. That is not language related. We spoke about this before. It's content related. So if you want to buy yourself some time just to think a little bit, you should say, oh, I should also say, this really is a tough topic, and keep it conversational, because your fluency and coherence in all 3 parts of this test was magnificent, in my opinion. It was very good. And you know, the way you started out, you answered 2 to 3 short sentences for part 1. Good. I mean, you didn't even have to be so long, but it was okay. I'd say it was all right the way you answered.
No.
Oh no.
Okay.
It was on the borderline of maybe answering for too long in part 1, but nothing serious, in my opinion.
Okay.
Nothing to. Part 2, I like the way you continued. You're probably running out of ideas, but you continued. You carried on, and because you carried on your story. And I thought it sounded very interesting too, because you were going into the right details of this story, you know, the picture of you and the Statue of Liberty. And then it's good that you remembered to go forward with your idea and then talk about it being on your desk, and then maybe you want to make a poster out of it. Very good stuff. Like, but if you could come up with that maybe a little bit sooner, instead, you were slightly struggling there, but you managed to collect yourself. You rescued yourself. Remember what I told you before, you can lie, you can go off topic.
Yeah.
You can say, they made a billboard of my poster in New York City. You can talk about your teams, you know, who cares? It's your story. All of it was content, was all related to the topic and the you know, the bullet points that was there. So very well done. In part 3, when you were talking about, you know, expressing your ideas and opinions, bringing them forward, I thought it was a very interesting discussion there. So I thought you were a lot more coherent than yesterday, in my opinion.
Good.
All right, very well done. So 7.5, vocabulary. Brilliant vocabulary. You using a wide range of complicated words, and you were paraphrasing, you were using different structures there, in my opinion, different words, and you know, all related, all like you were using. This is essential. This is that. You know, it's advanced vocabulary, and I gave you an 8 for vocabulary. So
Wow,
you know, it's
amazing.
I think very well done, because this speed, that now that you've toned down with the speed a little bit, not going too slow, but as you've toned it down, you're now remembering the wide range of vocabulary that you have and the idiomatic language that you can produce in when you're discussing something or telling a story. So this is really helping. Keep on doing it. Very well done. All right. So yeah, all these complex words, you're using a variety of words, all related to the topic in all 3 parts. I didn't notice anything off balance with the vocabulary you were using complicated vocabulary in exactly the right places. That's what we're looking at here. That's lexical resource. Very well done. So 8 for that. Grammatical range and accuracy. Now you were better than before, in my opinion, with grammatical range and accuracy. There are maybe 1 or 2 errors here and there, but it's not a disaster to have an error here and there. I mean, the tenses were good. You didn't have any tense problems as far as I was picking up in, this time. I mean, maybe there were one or two pictures in these days. You said taking pictures these days. Maybe you wanted to say that was maybe one little thing. I mean, that was on the tail. It was a very complicated discussion because part 3 does get like that. Maybe you were slightly speeding up again, thinking, "Oh goodness for me, when's this test going to end?" But always stay focused, stay involved with the discussion. Try to be enthusiastic and enjoy the discussion. The way you were doing, like in part 1 and part 2, keep that going because that is rescuing you and keeping you off that stressed state. And I thought you were better that way. And you said at one point, I think you said go. We were talking about go to movies, like you said, instead of go to the pictures or go to the movies. So make sure that, right there, just one little the. Like I said, very minor errors. I mean, grammatical range and accuracy altogether, because you were using a complex range of structures, the way you were forming your sentences and keeping it together. It was mostly accurate. So I gave you a 7 for grammatical range and accuracy. And pronunciation, it's not like you think. Actually, it was much better. It was better. It's much better. I didn't pick up any mispronunciations this time because it was because of your speed. Your speed was a lot more controlled, and it's actually helped you in all 4 criteria. So maybe that was maybe a little bit of a problem in the first place, was the speed. Now that you've slowed down, you got a lot more clearer, in my opinion, to the examiner. I mean, the speed was much better. You were much clearer when you were, elaborating on your reasons. Having that slight pause was probably better than going over mispronunciations. I mean, it's try to use that, that technique of the linking words, but what you were doing this time, in my opinion, it suited you better. This was better for you, and I think it's like that with most candidates, because when you have a good command of English and then maybe rush a little bit, things start getting forgotten, like the fluency and coherence. You might start forgetting to use some idiomatic language and staying so coherent, and then all that good vocabulary, all that wide range of vocabulary that you have in your head, it sort of goes a little bit blank because you're trying to rush through your sentences. And then same with the grammatical range and accuracy. If you're rushing too much through that, some tenses might get a little bit mixed up here and there, and you might miss a few positions. But altogether, it was much better this time, especially the pronunciation, and it all because of you slowing down, staying more focused, and being more involved in your story, particularly in part 2, and then getting more involved in this discussion with the examiner in part 3. So I think you're getting the hang of this now. If you want to go over an 8, I think you can. I think you can easily go. Reach an 8-band score. Now all you have to do is in between this is start knocking off these fillers and maybe use a few linking words, a few linking sentences. Goodness, you could say, "Goodness me, I'm all lost for words. Let me think for a second. Oh, I also to say," you can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. That shows the examiner that you're very much in control and you're staying fluent and coherent. So this is wonderful stuff. Very well done, Chiara. Do you have any questions?
Yes, if I get all 7, but just 1 6, I'm gonna get 7 or 6.5. I didn't understand that.
Okay, so basically these what you're assessed on the 4 criteria, it's all when they add it up in IELTS, it basically it's more towards what is being focused on. So it will go towards the median. And when you had like 3 7s and a 6, you were a 7. So now that you've got better with in certain positions, now you're at 7.5. But like I said, you can this fluency and coherence with that little filler situation now, you can increase that, and altogether you will go over an 8, because your vocabulary is really, you are really producing that strong level of vocabulary, and that's why it was an 8. And grammatical range and accuracy, that was less errors, I'd say. But you can admit that. Just stay focused and try not to make those little grammatical errors.
Why do you think I took 6.5 on my real exam? So what's I don't know why actually.
Well, probably maybe it was because of your previous mock test. Maybe you were slightly rushed, maybe a few mispronunciations, because examiners are very picky like that. Your words have to be very clear for the examiner. It has to be very clear for the listener. And now that you've learned, you're learning now how to control that. It's increasing your band score. And also it's all to do with the speed. Like I said, the speed is the key to all of this. It's allowing all your stronger English to come out and show to the examiner, hey, this is what I'm all about. This is my strong level, and this is how clear I am. Now that your speaking is slightly slower and even louder, this is helping you a lot. So you're definitely improved a lot since then, I would say. You've improved since yesterday, so I can only imagine how much you've improved since your real IELTS exam. And
I hope so.
You're going to be fine. I wish you the best of luck. Any other questions you'd like to ask me?
No, it's okay. Just if I can have some good filler you said before, so I can write down.
Okay, I mean, like I said, just study a few fillers for yourself and just think to yourself, how would you feel comfortable? Fillers that are comfortable to you, not something I would tell you, not something for you to memorize. That's not good. It's something that you would feel comfortable with. Saying, oh, what should I say now? I'm all lost. I've gone blank for a second. Anything that comes into your head, just to keep the conversation, to keep yourself going. That's all. That's the only tip I can give you right now. And another question for you now: would it be okay if we use this mock test for social media channels?
Yes, sure. Yes.
Yeah, it really does help other candidates, and we
yes,
appreciate
sure.
It. Thank you very much.
Today is 7.5 my overall.
Yes, overall 7.5.
Great.
And you can increase that. You can still increase that because you're at that level now where you can go over an 8. So very well done.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good. Wish you the best of luck, Chiara.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too. Good luck.
Bye.
See you. Bye-bye.
Speaking course. This course is made up of 5 offline speaking videos in which you will learn all the necessary tips and techniques to take the IELTS speaking test with a high score.
Tell me about your family. Do you
In addition to that, you will have access to useful grammar and vocabulary resources. Once you finish your course, you will have 1 online mock test of speaking, along with comprehensive feedback under the same exam conditions.
Interesting question.
Join us to become our next successful candidate.